-6 on the Arctic Oscillation. You need to hear that number again? -6. That is the deepest polar plunge pattern we've seen this winter, and it is coming back between February 9th and February 12th. Is your city about to get buried in snow? In the next 30 seconds, I am revealing which cities face the most extreme conditions and why this pattern is different from anything we've seen so far this season. But first, I need you to do something right now. Drop your city in the comments. Be specific. Don T, just say Texas. Tell me Houston or Dallas or San Antonio. I am going live tomorrow morning with personalized forecasts based on exactly where you are, and I am going through every single comment tonight to make sure your area gets covered. The more specific you are with your location, the better information I can give you tomorrow. Here is your reward for staying with me. North Carolina coast, you relooking at 12 inches plus near the Outer Banks with blizzard conditions. Boston and Nantucket, heavy snow but with dry pockets that could cut your totals. South Carolina coast, including Myrtle Beach, you might see almost nothing while areas just inland get buried. Tennessee and Kentucky, 1 to 3 inches from the system Tuesday into Wednesday. Florida, freezing temperatures pushing all the way down the peninsula by Monday. Mississippi and northern Louisiana, 75,000 and 24,000 still without power from the last storm. Tennessee, 56,000 people in the dark going into their second week. But here is what nobody is talking about. This isn't just one storm. This is a complete pattern shift that is going to last 6 more weeks. Look at the geographic scope of what is coming. We are talking about snowstorms reaching from the Gulf Coast to Maine, multiple systems. Back-to-back events. The current storm off the East Coast is just the beginning. Behind it, we have another system Tuesday into Wednesday, then a clipper in 5 or 6 days. Then the really dangerous pattern kicks in between February 9th and February 12th when upper-level lows off the West Coast start feeding moisture into a deep trough of Arctic air. Over 100 people have died from the current cold blast, 100 people. And we are about to do this again, only deeper and potentially more dangerous. The states of emergency are already in effect across multiple regions. Tennessee still has 56,000 without power. Mississippi, 75,000, northern Louisiana, 24,000, Ohio, 6,600, Massachusetts, 3,900, Texas, 3,000, Pennsylvania, 2,300, Maine, 2,300. These aren't just numbers. These are families enduring negative temperatures and dangerous wind chills with no heat, no power, going into their second week in some cases. And the pattern we retracking is going to test infrastructure all over again. Here is what makes this different from a typical winter pattern. We are not just getting cold air, we were getting a blocking pattern in the Atlantic. When the North Atlantic Oscillation goes negative, which it is doing right now, it creates a roadblock in the jet stream. That roadblock forces cold air to dive deep into the southern and eastern United States. Think of it like a river hitting a dam. The water has to go somewhere, so it gets pushed to the sides. That's what's happening with our jet stream. The block over the Atlantic is forcing the polar air mass south. But here's where it gets more complicated. We also have multiple upper-level lows sitting off the west coast. These are spinning areas of energy in the upper atmosphere. Normally, they'd just slide past and head out to sea, but with that blocking pattern over the Atlantic, they are getting pulled into the trough, and each one is going to carry Pacific moisture right into the cold air mass. That's the recipe for major snow, not just flurries, not just a dusting. We're talking about significant accumulation potential stretching all the way to the Gulf states. The models are in remarkable agreement on this pattern. Both the European model and the GFS are showing the same thing. The Arctic Oscillation crashing to -6 between February 9th and 12th. The NAO going negative. The upper-level lows feeding in from the Pacific. When both major models agree this far out, confidence goes up significantly. Now, the individual storm tracks are going to shift around. I'll have better details as we get closer, but the overall pattern is locked in. This is happening, just like I promised at the start. Here is your detailed breakdown of what is happening right now and what is coming next. The current storm system off the East Coast, this is your immediate concern if you are anywhere from the Carolinas to New England. The National Weather Service updated their snow impact map this morning, and the numbers have grown. Light blue on their maps represents 1 to 2 inches. Dark blue is 3 to 4 inches. Yellow is 6 to 8 inches. The darker orange is 8 inches or more. And along the North Carolina coast, we now have pockets showing 12 inches plus, especially near the Outer Banks. This is where blizzard conditions are expected with this coastal low-pressure system. But here is the tricky part with this storm. We're dealing with two separate pieces of energy. You have the upper-level low bringing snow from the western side of the system. Then you have a coastal low that S undergoing frontogenesis right along the South Carolina coast. Frontogenesis is a $10 word that means the temperature difference across a front is getting sharper, and when that happens, it forces air to rise rapidly. Rising air means heavier snow rates. So South Carolina is getting enhanced snowfall from this process, while the coastal low strengthens and brings heavy snow up the coast. North Carolina, you're in a difficult forecast because the models have been trending toward dry pockets over the last few runs. You might see areas where everyone around you is getting snow, but you get almost nothing. The latest high-resolution models show this clearly. Some spots could see 6 to 9 inches toward a foot, but other areas might stay completely dry even though you are surrounded by snow. This has been consistent over the last several model runs, so it's not just a one-time quirk. It's a real possibility you need to prepare for. Moving up to Boston and the Nantucket area, you are also looking at potential dry pockets where precipitation could pause for multiple hours. You'll get snow, but it might not be continuous. When the snow is falling, rates could be heavy from that coastal low, but those breaks in the action are going to lower your totals compared to what you might expect from a storm this strong. For Myrtle Beach and the immediate South Carolina coast, this is where the track matters most. Current projections show you might see very little snowfall. Some areas along the immediate coast could get almost nothing, while areas just 30 or 40 miles inland get buried. This isn't unusual for coastal storms. The rain-snow line is incredibly sharp with these systems, and being on the wrong side of it by just a few miles means the difference between 8 inches of snow and just cold rain or nothing at all. This storm moves offshore quickly. By tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, it's gone, but the cold air behind it is brutal. Wind chills tomorrow morning are going to be dangerous across the entire region. Then as we go through Sunday into Monday, the cold air mass shifts even further south. Florida, you're going to see freezing temperatures push all the way down the peninsula by Monday morning. This is the same cold air mass that's already been in place all week across the Gulf states, but it's pivoting south. Now let S jump to what happens next, and this is critical. Monday, you're going to see a brief warm-up across the southern regions. High temperatures retract back north. This is good news for the south because it is going to help melt any freezing rain or snow that accumulated. But, and this is important, shaded areas might not melt completely. Then Tuesday morning, freezing temperatures come back down. Whatever didn't melt is going to refreeze. Black ice becomes a major concern, especially on roads that stay in the shade. Watch for this Tuesday morning if you are anywhere from the mid-Atlantic down through the Gulf states. Tuesday into Wednesday, here comes your next system. This one is having a hard time developing a strong surface low pressure because of the angle of the jet stream. It's bringing warmer air on the southern edge, so the Gulf states are looking at rain with this one. But across Tennessee, Kentucky, and the Ohio Valley, you're getting snow. Current projections show 1 to 3 inches, maybe locally higher depending on where the best lift sets up. Some areas could see just an inch or a little more. It's not a major storm, but it is another shot of snow in a pattern that is going to keep bringing them. The weather pattern we're in right now is classic cold from the north diving straight toward the mid-Atlantic for several days. Multiple swaths of snow. Then maybe a strong clipper in 5 or 6 days. But none of this compares to what comes after. Here is what makes the February 9th through 12th time frame so critical. The Arctic Oscillation crashes to -6. That is about as deep as you can go. The polar vortex is going to send extremely cold air deep into the United States. At the same time, the North Atlantic Oscillation goes negative, creating that blocking pattern, and those upper-level lows off the west coast start swinging moisture into the jet stream as the trough digs south. What does this mean? Loaded snowstorms. Multiple chances. The first wave shows snow from the Central Plains toward the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. The second wave shows another possible southern storm feeding precipitation from the Gulf. Back-to-back systems. Storm after storm tracking deeper into the southern United States. Now, I want to be transparent with you. We're talking about events 7 to 8 days away. Individual storm positions will move around. What I am showing you is a pattern, not a specific forecast. The storms might track further east or west, but the pattern itself is locked in. The cold air is coming, the moisture is there, and the setup is confirmed. The European model shows upper-level lows feeding snow from the west, then coastal development along the east coast. The GFS shows the same pattern. The latest update confirms it. Storm systems bringing heavy precipitation, and it's not all snow. This will bring ice and additional problems. The temperature pattern is stunning. Current cold blast has freezing temperatures across the Gulf states all week. Sunday into Monday, cold pushes down Florida. Monday's highs provide brief relief. But Tuesday morning, freezing returns. Tuesday afternoon brings warm-up, but that S just before the next pattern kicks in. When we hit February 9th through 12th, temperatures go deeper and wind chills become even more dangerous. This is what the data shows. Winter 2.0, deeper and stronger than what we just experienced. Here's what concerns me most for infrastructure. We already have 186,000 people without power. Tennessee has been in the dark for a week in some areas. When you layer another significant cold blast on top of systems that are already stressed, on top of crews that are already exhausted, the potential for additional failures goes up. Power companies have been working around the clock, but there's only so much you can do when you re-hit repeatedly. For the citrus growers in Florida, you know this drill. Freezing temperatures Monday morning, then again Tuesday morning, then the potential for even deeper cold in 9 to 10 days. You are going to need to protect vulnerable crops. For those in the south who aren't used to prolonged cold, this is the time to check your pipe insulation. Let faucets drip during the coldest nights. Make sure you have enough heating fuel. In the upper Midwest, you are in frostbite territory with these wind chills. Exposed skin can freeze in 15 to 30 minutes when wind chills drop to these levels. Everyone should keep at least a half tank of gas in their vehicles. If you get stranded, you need to be able to run your car for heat. Check on elderly neighbors. Check on anyone who might be vulnerable to cold. This is a community situation. We need to take care of each other. Travel is going to be significantly impacted. The current East Coast storm is creating blizzard conditions in some areas. The Tuesday-Wednesday system brings another round of difficult travel across Tennessee, Kentucky, and the Ohio Valley. Then the Clipper in 5 or 6 days adds another layer. And when we get to that February 9th through 12th window, we potentially looking at major winter storms tracking deeper into areas that might not be as equipped to handle significant snow. Now, here is something that's way too early for specific details, but not too early to start tracking. After this intense period in mid-February, the pattern doesn't look like it breaks immediately. Long-range model guidance suggests the cold could be extended. There might be additional systems beyond what I've talked about today. We could be looking at winter weather stretching well into late February before we finally transition toward March. Remember, if you believe in that Groundhog Day tradition, consider this your groundhog forecast. We definitely have 6 more weeks of winter coming. Let me recap the timeline so you have this clear. Current storm off the East Coast wraps up by tomorrow morning. Cold air intensifies behind it through Monday. Brief warm-up Monday afternoon. Freezing temperatures return Tuesday morning, creating black ice concerns. Next system, Tuesday into Wednesday, brings snow to Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio Valley. Possible Clipper in 5 or 6 days. Then the really dangerous pattern arrives February 9th through 12th with the Arctic Oscillation crashing, the NAO going negative, and multiple storm systems tracking through deep, cold air. Your preparation deadlines are coming fast. If you were in the current storm zone, you're already dealing with it. For the Tuesday-Wednesday system, you need to be ready by Monday night. For that potential Clipper, we'll have better timing in a couple days. But for the mid-February pattern shift, this coming week is when you prepare. Stock up on essentials. Make sure you have heat sources, check your emergency supplies, confirm your pipes are protected. This isn't about panicking. This is about being ready. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you resubscribed because tomorrow's update is absolutely critical. I am going live by 8 a.m. Eastern, possibly earlier if major changes come in overnight with the models. The current East Coast storm is still evolving. Those dry pockets for North Carolina could shift. The Tuesday-Wednesday system track could adjust, and I'll have the first solid data on that potential Clipper. Things can and will change overnight with systems like these. Drop your city one more time in the comments. Let me know where you re-watching from. I want to make sure I cover your specific area tomorrow. If you re in one of those tricky forecast zones like coastal North Carolina or South Carolina, I especially need to hear from you. Your feedback helps me know where to focus the detailed analysis. I want to be completely honest with you about forecast uncertainty. Individual storm tracks can shift 50 miles and completely change who gets hit hardest. Models will refine overnight. I'll have better clarity tomorrow on the specifics. This is the nature of weather forecasting. We can see the pattern with high confidence, but the individual details require constant updates. When both the European model and GFS agree on the overall setup, confidence is high on the pattern. When they start showing differences in storm tracks, that S where the forecast gets murky. I am not sensationalizing. I am informing you of what the data shows so you can make your own decisions about preparation. Weather forecasts walk a fine line. Too cautious and people aren't ready when something significant hits. Too aggressive and you lose credibility when it doesn't verify. My goal is to give you the most accurate information possible based on current data while being transparent about uncertainty. If Ivy succeeded today, I appreciate your trust. If Ivy missed the mark anywhere, use that thumbs down button and let me know what I can do better. Tomorrow's video will have updated model data from tonight's runs. I'll have refined snow totals for the Tuesday-Wednesday system, temperature adjustments as the pattern evolves, and preliminary information on anything beyond next week. I am going through all of this in detail. You will want this information whether you are in a directly impacted area or you are just trying to understand what's happening with this historic pattern. Make sure your notifications are turned on. Hit that bell icon. This pattern is evolving rapidly, and if something major changes overnight, you need to know about it first thing tomorrow morning. I might go live earlier than 8 a.m. Eastern if the models show significant changes. Things could change overnight. The coastal storm track could shift. The intensity could adjust up or down. Those dry pockets could fill in or expand. This is why daily updates are essential with active patterns like this. You don't want to make decisions based on yesterday's forecast when today's data might tell a different story. Final action items. If you re in the current storm area, stay off roads. Wind chills behind this system are dangerous. Tomorrow, let those faucets drip if you are in areas that don't normally deal with prolonged freezing. Monday, watch for refreezing on roads that don't get sun. Tuesday morning, black ice is your main concern. Tuesday night, prepare for the next system if you are in Tennessee, Kentucky, or the Ohio Valley. And this coming week, get ready for that mid-February pattern that's going to test everyone. Check on your neighbors. Check on elderly family members. Check on anyone who might be vulnerable to extreme cold or who might have difficulty getting supplies. We are all in this together. Community matters during weather events like these. Thank you for trusting me with your weather information. I don't take that responsibility lightly. Weather affects real lives, real families, real communities. My job is to give you accurate information so you can make the best decisions for your safety and your family's safety. I am not here to panic you. I am here to inform you. Tomorrow's update will have critical new information. Track shifts are possible. Model data will be refined. You want to miss it. Make sure you resubscribed. Turn on notifications. I'll see you tomorrow morning with everything you need to know about this evolving winter pattern. Stay safe out there, everyone. Get ready for these temperatures if you are in the south. This is only the beginning of what's coming over.